would like to call the regular Parks and Rec Commission meeting of May 13th, 2026 to order at 6 p.m. Will the secretary please take the roll?
Dave Tuttle, Dan Fleckenstein.
Here.
Megan Montaigne. Here. Reese Clayton.
Here. Commissioner Fleckenstein, will you, can you please lead us on the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does the commission have any adjustments to tonight's meeting agenda?
I'd like to make an inquiry. The March meeting, which we did not have, had the Bumpus Ball Field listed as unfinished business. However, I don't see it on the agenda for today. Is there a reason that was not on there?
I can talk about that here in a few minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Hearing no other changes other than the Bumpus Ball Field, so the agenda will stand as presented. Can I get a motion to approve today's agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Does the commission have any adjustments to the January 14th, 2026 meeting minutes presented? I'm hearing no changes. Can I get a motion to approve the January 14th, 2026 minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes as written.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Bell's not here tonight, so we'll have Mr.
I have
Oh, cool. We'll have the secretary present that.
Staff report for the Parks and Recreation meeting, May 13th, 2026. The Parks and Recreation Commission seat A is still vacant. Upcoming events, we have Music in the Park. That starts May 30th, and then every Saturday in June, and then on July 4th. The time's from 3 to 9. We also have coming up the 4th of July Parade and Mayor's Picnic that we've been planning for. A report for cleanup days that was this past week. We had 51 groups that brought in trash to the dumpster at Idita Park. We filled 1.5 40-yard dumpsters. We're still waiting to receive information from the Matsu Borough landfill regarding the total amount of pounds of garbage that the community brought in. So hopefully we'll hear that soon and can report at the next Park and Rec meeting. A thank you to Dan Fleckenstein for volunteering to help at the dumpster. We had so far 16 entries submitted for prizes for the cleanup days. And then this year's prizes, we have 2 round trip Alaska Railroad tickets from Anchorage to Denali. We also have Alaska Railroad art print that they donated. And then also we have a $50 gift certificate to Ken's Greenhouse. Our social media for Facebook, Wasilla Parks and Recreation followers went from 3,903 to 4,108. And then regarding the Bumpus Ball Field Recreation, I will be drafting a resolution of the support of the Bumpus Recreation Area, new ball field improvements, and then we will bring that to the July 8th Park and Recreation meeting. That'll be under the new business. And then if it is approved by you guys, then it will go to be forwarded to City Council as an IM. And that's all I have.
Do we have a report from Mr. Griffiths?
Sure do. Busy right now. That's the first thing. Wednesday and Saturday market, it's going to be in a new location this year. It's going to be over in the parking lot of the Valley of Performing Arts. They'll be running Wednesdays and Saturdays. That's kind of a good change up to get them. They're going to be outside of the park. It's going to be better access for older people, for anybody with any, disabilities or anything like that. It's a bigger area overall, and it has better parking. And so we've worked on it since last summer. And so it's come to fruition that we're going to be able to do that and move forward with that this year. I know everybody that's involved in that's very excited. There's a lot more people joining up with the event now. And so as it moves forward, it should be, I'm hoping for a great outturn, and it just starts to explode and become a great thing. And so with that being said, we'll move on to the other stuff. Nunley Park, we actually have gotten permission from council to remove the caboose, which is a great thing. We want that out of there. And so it's actually went through that we're going to be able to do that this summer is what we're looking to get it done. I did a park. I've heard some questions about pickleball lately. We have 4 courts of that are there all summer, and it's fenced and ready for play. And a lot of people are coming from everywhere. It's busy all the time. It's been a good change, and it brings a lot of people into the park. We have the tennis court fence due to the windstorms this winter that was blown over. We have contractors, the bids are in. We have a contract that's going to do it. The thing that kind of slows us down, being that it's a 10-foot tall fence, they have to go out of state in order to get the correct fencing to replace that. So it's in process. It's just going to take a little bit to get there. And until then, it's shut off and locked off just because it's a safety hazard to the public. We talked a little bit last year, or the last time I was in here, about some of the changes with the power and stuff over in the parade field. That has been taken care of. We have new power all the way throughout that whole circle. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see some of the Christmas lighting this year. I thought it went really well, minus all the wind. The wind kind of made that a really interesting event. But other than that, the power's there. So the blow up houses and some of the other things that they were lacking power for this year, we won't be lacking. It's there, ready to go. And so we kind of really upgraded that quite a bit. Let's see here. Out at the Lake Lucille campground, wind damage has created various safety issues, trees knocked down and such. We've been going through the campground here the last week, clearing out all the down trees, any dangerous trees. Hopefully by tomorrow that'll be wrapped up and we'll be moving out of there to do other stuff. We're also, the pay station will be put in out there. It's kind of interesting because we run that off of solar. So that's it creates the battery dies off. There's not enough light sometimes. It creates a lot of work on my end, changing it out, just trying to keep it alive. And hopefully at some point we'll move to like a QR code where you just pull up and we get into the modern age with that. That's the plan eventually with that. There's a company out there going through Lake Lucille right now, through all of the area, getting rid of all the beetle kill, any of the dead trees, and they're being chewed up. And so that's in process. It'll probably take us all summer to accommodate that whole area. It's being done in 3 phases, and I think they just finished phase 1. So if you go down to where the dock is, where you put in a canoe and all that area there has been done, and they're moving towards like the bow range, that kind of area. We built 10 new benches, and some of those will go on that new walking path that was installed out there last year and paved. We're also going to put a few of those benches in the dog park so people have a little bit more seating in there. And we got some other changes with the dog park that we're going to start working on hopefully this summer as we get the ability and are allowed to go do that. We've also, throughout the whole city, if you look around, all the new banners are up. Those are new banners to us. They're all Alaska themed, so they're Alaska animals, flowers. I think that's kind of cool that it puts in our, this is where we're from, and it kind of states that, which I think is pretty awesome. An ongoing is homeless and trash. Last week we pulled 1,400 pounds of garbage out from up in front of the Fred Meyer's, right there where the guy sits on the corner there that everybody knows. Quite a mess, but we've cleaned all that stuff up, and there was a little bit of an issue there due to the fact that that's actually DOT right away. It's not ours. So we weren't able to get in there until we got the right permission. We finally got the right permission. So now it's cleaned up and we'll be in there more regular, making sure that doesn't happen no more. All the parking lots through all the parks and stuff and all the bike paths have all been swept from the winter debris and sand, and all the park staff, as you know, we were going to get our playground safety certificates. Everybody in-house that's in the parks has those now. And it's been an amazing thing. There's been a couple of them that we have tore down since then. The one that was out at Lake Lucille, both of those have been removed just because they were safety hazards. And now with having that backing, it's a little bit easier when you talk about it and you show that it's time to remove it. And I think the upper one was installed in 2000 or 2001. Its lifespan was well beyond that, and it was safety issues with rotted out stuff and things like that. So we'll just keep moving forward. And then Nunley Park, it's on hold because we're going through all the methods trying to figure out what we're going to do with that. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, please. The Wednesday, Saturday market, when's that due to kick off?
I want to say, I think it's next week, or it may have started today. I don't know. I've been in a Zoom. It's been
So
kind of-
soon.
Yes,
Okay,
it'll run probably right with Music in the Park. So
okay,
I think the first week that starts, they both start together.
okay, great.
Okay.
And then, do you have an idea about when the tennis court might be available again?
The main thing is just waiting on shipping of getting the fencing. The outfit that's done it, we've had them do lots of fence. They're very proficient. So I imagine if we get the parts in and all that, 1 to 2 days after it gets here.
Okay,
So
super.
it shouldn't be a long haul. It's just when you're dealing with insurances and stuff like that, because that was all part of that kind of slows everything down. And then you have to get 3 different bids and some other different things. But we've met all of our benchmarks on my end of it. And now we've awarded who's going to get it. And the PO is being written. As soon as that's done, the fence gets ordered, because they're not going to order it until they're going to get paid.
Okay,
So that's where we're at.
so it's coming.
It's coming.
Okay, and then last question. I'm aware of some inquiries for folks that use the Bumpus Ballpark about the possibility of having some sort of playground equipment available at that facility for the kids that attend, of parents that play ball and stuff. Do you know by chance what would be the process of trying to seek something like that?
I'm not really sure where to go with that. That would be something I'd probably talk to Eric Shaw on. He's the director of that. I haven't heard of whether we have something or some of that stuff to do that. The playgrounds that we removed, they're not something that I would put in and consider safe for any kids.
I see.
So
Okay,
so you got to really be careful with that as well for our end of it, and for yours as well, because if you put in faulty equipment, someone gets hurt,
sure.
it creates a whole another problem for you. You don't want either. So
Oh, we certainly want it to be done properly, and I
So-
wasn't necessarily thinking there would be some leftover. or used
no, we
things,
just
but-
don't have any of that at this point. And
Okay.
so I can check in with Eric next week and kind of see if he has any thoughts of wanting to promote or how that works.
Okay,
But we
Great.
haven't had like a full conversation. I know it's kind of came in and out of our conversations and stuff, but it's never really been like,
okay,
we're going to do this, we have this kind of thing.
okay. There are, to my knowledge, at least 1,000 people a week that use that facility. Many of them are parents that have
Yep.
kids and families.
I have
There
friends
is
and
a
family there
partially
too.
netted in area over there with the sand box
Mhm.
the kids can play in, but there's pretty limited opportunity for.
I think it would
littles.
I would think it would get used very well.
Yeah,
I think it'd be a good addition for you guys.
great.
I agree.
Okay, thank you for your report. I don't have any other questions.
No problem.
So I did have 2 questions. You talked about the homeless and the trash, and I was just curious, how does city code currently support that? Like, as that guy has sat there for, as you know, quite a while, does the current city code kind of give you the tools to be able to clean that up, or what is it from your experience?
City code doesn't touch that because that's not our property.
Gotcha.
I can't just, it's like if you have something at your house, I just can't come do that. That particular area of ground is DOT. That's not our area. So in order for us to actually go in there and be on their ground, we have to get all the right approvals for that. And you know, sometimes it just doesn't move fast as you'd like it to. So, I mean, I've been told my crew's been itching to clean that up for a long time, but we haven't been able to do it until we have the right paperwork in place. Not only that, it needs to be something that the cops can stand behind. We can have their protection while we're on site and dealing with that, because some of those people are volatile, unfortunately. And so there's a whole process. It's not just a simple, let's go clean that up.
Yep, totally understand. I've noticed definitely that area, it seems like where the Bushwood side is a little bit, has definitely gotten a lot more activity over the last couple of years. So,
Yep.
And yeah, I wasn't sure if the city code allows you guys to really have the tools to succeed or how that exactly works. And then my second question I had is the volleyball courts and the basketball court that we have at Iditarod Park. Do you guys have any updates on anything there, or is that just kind of anything changing there that you guys do?
We had an issue where somebody with a 4-wheeler or something came in and broke off some of our volleyball court poles. So those are gonna have to be replaced this summer when we get in there and do that. We have 1 out of the 3 that's still up. So we need to get in there and replace those as soon as we can. The basketball courts, I don't know of anything that's a big change that there's financing or anything to move towards that right at this time.
Okay.
And just to answer, finish your other question, yes, the city does give us help in doing that because they're the ones who chased out all the right people to get all the signatures on the documentation that we were able to go in there and do that. So without them doing that, we wouldn't have been able to go in there.
Totally makes sense. I
So-
appreciate that. Yeah, it seems like the volleyball court, I know there's a couple groups that kind of like to use that in the summer and stuff like that. So it'd be really nice if those groups would come in and maybe try to help you guys kind of collaborate, give you guys some ideas, because you do see in the summertime a lot of people out there having games and stuff like that. But it would be nice if we saw that group maybe show up to our thing and give us some feedback or something like that. So
I think that'd be great as well.
alrighty, so anyone wish to step forward to discuss anything not on tonight's agenda? We can do now so. And let's see, public comments. If any audience members want to, please write your name and contact information on the sign-up sheet and state your name for the record.
Good evening, my name is Zoe Christensen. I'm adventuring crew 395 with Scouting America. I'm currently working towards the Venturing Summer Award, which is similar to the Eagle Scout project. They both require a major service project to be done in the community. For my project, I would like to build a community dog park in Wasilla. I'm requesting a site that the city of Wasilla is willing to designate for a potential community dog park. I'm in the beginning of my project, so I'm requesting a possible location where that could be. Once I have that location, I'll be able to finalize plans, start fundraising, and start pre-construction later this year. My goal is to complete the full construction of the park at the end in summer of 2027. This project would be built with the help of my fellow scouts, friends, family, and possibly community members. I believe a dog park would be a great resource in the community by creating a safe space for all dogs and their owners. Thank you for your time and consideration.
I think it's awesome that we have young individuals in our community that want to speak up and change our community, and definitely anything when it comes to organizations like your own that come in and actually want to change our community, put the skin in the game, and anything that we can get in terms of dog parks and stuff like that, be it dog parks, be it pickleball courts, be it everything, the more we need small groups and we need organizations like yourself to come in, not only put that in, but also maintain it. So yeah, definitely something I think this committee should consider. All right, with nothing else to kind of consider, we'll move on to the next thing, which is going to be the local outdoor pickleball courts. Mr. Flinkenstein, would you like to speak on this?
Yes, thank you, Reese. I was wondering if anybody on the commission here has a little bit of a history or background as to what we've considered with regard to pickleball courts. I was present at I did a park last Saturday for about half a day while we were working on the cleanup stuff. And I noticed that it was quite busy. There were folks using it all the time. And that I know from the community comments I've heard that, as you may know, pickleball is a growing concern. More folks are participating. They're looking for other avenues to be able to play pickleball, which are somewhat limited right now. So to your knowledge, has there been any investigation or discussion regarding advancing pickleball within our park system? Do you guys have any info on that?
To my understanding, I haven't heard anything in terms of the city doing the pickleball. I do know the pickleball courts went in, I think last year or the year before now. Like you said, it's kind of an up and coming sport with lots of interest in it right now. I do think we kind of have a monopoly on it too, because to my understanding, I don't know of any other city currently locally that has pickleball courts in their parks that they do and has the infrastructure to support it. Like you, I go by that park every day and I see the amount of people that are looking to play pickleball, and it currently well outnumbers our courts that we do have. I do know the courts were kind of put in an area that was undeveloped before in the Iditarod Park there, so it was kind of a vacant spot that we had that just kind of had water buildup for many years and was kind of a local ice skating spot in the winter. And now that the pickleball court's there, it's definitely gave it a second life and has really brought not only more users to our park, but more families to our park. I do know a lot of people like where the pickleball courts are located because they can have their kids there at the park and they can be playing pickleball. So it definitely seems like it's a very high demand item. It's something that we could have a monopoly on right now that, to my understanding, no other community has that type of infrastructure in their town right now. So definitely it's something that I would say that the city council should definitely consider looking at, maybe possibly expanding on and giving more space to, because right now, like you said, there can be a line over there. There can be people that are trying to use it. It's kind of like the tennis court area too. I know that area gets really busy when it is available and you get people that are waiting for a while to use it. So both those sports are nice because you see kind of every age demographic out there. You see a lot of users. And so, yeah, definitely something that I think the city council should consider looking into in terms of future development.
Okay, and is there anything we can do as a body to start the ball rolling on that, as far as make an inquiry or do some research to find out what would be appropriate if we tried to add another court at a different park or expand the area that we have now? Do you have any ideas on how we might go about that?
I don't know, Jesse, if you might have some insight on possible pickleball development or anything like that you could tell us about.
There's nothing in the making right at the moment. We have the 4 that we have over there now. I'm not opposed to it by no means. I mean, it's definitely a growing sport. I mean, that area that was, like he said, kind of a dead zone for us. It's busy all the time now. It brings a lot of families in. I think anything that brings family in is great because it kind of helps us keep the riprap out of the way. So on my end of it, it's great. And there's eyes on the ground that actually won't let kids get away with some of the stuff that they do there now. I don't have a suggestion of exactly where or anywhere to do that right at this point. I think it's something that, you know, if you bring it and present it to council and stuff like that, I think that's probably your start point, or come in and talk to Eric and see if, you know, that's something he can help move. And obviously with budgets being a little bit more stringent nowadays and stuff,
Yeah.
that would be one of those, you know, leaps or those steps you'd have to get over in order to get that done, because it's not cheap doing that. Just the fencing alone is very expensive. So as you know, out at the softball field,
Yes, definitely.
it's like, it takes a lot of movement, and then it takes a lot of effort keeping the nets up in there, because you have kids that'll come through and cut them and do all kinds of fun stuff. So it's like, to have 4 nets up, we have an extra probably 8 of them just to keep it going through the summer. And then even at that, we still have to order more and change them out. So it's something that would definitely be a great community asset in my mind. It's just, where would you want to put it, which park, and also that, you know, make sure that you're getting the most use that, you know, maybe out at Lake Lucille isn't where you're going to see a lot of people, or maybe that would be the start of what draws them out there. I don't know. So,
Okay,
but I
something
think
we could research.
it would be worth the research. Yes.
Okay.
And I think from our commission side too, the best thing we could do is try to put together something of like a letter of support that says, hey, our commission supports this, you know, from the city council side. Hey, this is something that we think is a serious issue that might be needing to be addressed. You know, our commission can kind of have Tammy here write a letter of support that says, you know, hey, these went in, we see the benefits of them, we see where they're doing a lot of that. One question I did have for you too, Jesse, is do those have where they have like the cameras that can watch them? So if there is riffraff, is it protected by some of the cameras I know we have in the parks now?
That particular spot there has a camera that sits right above it. Yes. It also reaches out and expands clear across the basketball courts. There's some different ones throughout the whole park. There's one that picks up the skate park, which is over on the Performing Arts Building. So there are spots out there, and there's talk of adding more throughout there just because of some of the things we deal with on a regular basis, to hopefully help us not try to get people and bust them, but to potentially help make it grow to where they stop doing that stuff, because it's very costly for us on that. I mean, we've went through one summer where they broke the sinks in the bathrooms, and it was almost $6,000 for a summer just in faucets. So that's the part that's kind of, you know, disheartening to us, because we work very hard to try to keep those things maintained so everybody can use and get enjoyment out of them.
Would having some type of lighting over there maybe help with that at all, do you think, or?
I don't think it's a lighting, because during the summertime, we have light pretty much 24 hours a day. So I don't know that that would be a transition, and most of it happens during the summer.
I get you.
It's a little bit more rare during the winter because it's kind of hard to paint the ground with snow on it,
Totally understand.
you know, so it's mostly in the summertime for us.
So yeah, I think the best thing our commission could do is add a letter of support that says, hey, the pickleball courts have been put in. They kind of were a great start to the process, but I think we're ready to maybe see what the city council could do to maybe support it with another phase of development of some type that would allow for those pickleball courts at Iditarod Park and or another location, be able to draw more people in. I do think Lake Lucille Park would be another great spot to possibly look at, you know, just because again, as we're starting to get more people over there, there are some spots that haven't been developed yet. And I could see in a hot summer day while people are hanging out at the lake there, having pickleball courts next to that kids area being very beneficial for the city. So yeah, I think that'd be the best thing for the commission to be able to offer.
I did try to connect with the local Valley Pickleball organization. They have a club. Although I was not successful, but I was of the mind of inviting someone from their club to come possibly to a meeting so we could visit with them, get some ideas on what's the state of the sport right now, what's the demand, are folks seeking other opportunities for places to play, and what, you know, get a feel for what the usage might be of something like that. They might even have some input on ideal place to locate it.
I do know too, it'd be nice to maybe understand what they need for like tournaments, because I can imagine as they get more people that are using it, having the proper infrastructure to support like a tournament system or something like that would be really beneficial. I know that over where my parents live, one of my neighbors built an indoor pickleball court. Like his whole house has a tiny house, and he built a pickleball court that's bigger than his entire house. So obviously the demand there is really big. I didn't even know he played pickleball in college, and he's a hardcore pickleball player.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of demand out there. And again, going back to kind of my original thing, I think we could really have a monopoly with that, because to my understanding, I don't know anywhere else that you can play pickleball in the state right now. So yeah, we could really kind of be the kings of pickleball in our community.
Yeah, I know tournaments are very popular, and they also create a lot of other usage of the park while they're there. Obviously, their families come and things like that. And if nobody's opposed to that, I wouldn't mind trying to connect with the pickleball club locally and invite them to our next meeting, so we could maybe get some insight as to what their ideas are, or what the challenges that they're currently facing with trying to find courts and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that'd be an awesome thing to do.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on. Let's go back to public comments. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to provide any comments at all? And then let's move on to staff comments. Any staff members have any comments that they'd like to add?
Yeah, I'll just say, wait.
Good.
Okay, I'm staff.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just say really quickly, I
Committee.
want to thank the public for coming out. I think a dog park is a really great idea. I hope that you've maybe already connected with Eric. I think he's a great resource as far as finding a location, and I hope you come back. And if you are able to find a location, come back to us and talk to us, and we can support it and move it up to the city council as well. So just want to say thank you for coming, and also thanks to Jesse for all the great work going on. I've definitely noticed a lot of that trash being cleaned up. I go by there all the time, so it looks great, and you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you. I'll let the crew know.
I would just like to thank Ms. Christensen for coming in, and I appreciate your work putting together your presentation and making the information available as far as your goals and what you want to do with that. And hopefully there's some way we can support you moving forward. So thank you for that. Also, thank you to Jesse and your crew. With our hurricane season we had last winter, a lot of stuff got rearranged, and a lot of things showed up that weren't normally supposed to be there. I know, so it's been a lot of work to get things going, and then spring's been a little bit stubborn in showing up, so it's been definitely a challenge. I know that we have our own challenges at Bumpus with drainage and runoff and just trying to get things going. So it's been a real uphill battle, but thank you for what you do, and I appreciate the information that you shared.
problem.
Just like everyone else said, I agree that anything that you guys can do that we can support you, we're all about it. Be it dog parks, be it pickleball, be it the basketball, volleyball, anything. That's one thing that our community really needs right now more than anything is we need young individuals that are speaking their voice in our community and saying, hey, this is what we want to do. We're willing to put our skin in the game. We're willing to come together and kind of do that. That's one thing our community needs more than anything right now is just young people that want to actually put skin in their game and they want to change our community with, be it the resources, be it showing up to city council meetings, be it showing up to our amazingly busy Parks and Rec meetings that we have here. Just anything that really comes and says, hey, I want this to be different, because that's the biggest thing that Wasilla has right now is we have a very changing community. A lot of the families have changed a lot in just the last couple of years. And so we need the new voices to kind of speak up and be like, hey, this is what I want. Also going on what everyone else said, Jesse, your crew does amazing. We see you guys out there all the time. Some of your staff members that I see that drive your equipment are just like some of the best drivers I've seen. They're also very considerate too. I see them when they work the roads and they're very good about that. So you have a really amazing staff right now that I hope we're able to retain really well, because I'm starting to see the benefits of it really well. Definitely that's the biggest thing that the city has right now is as we've expanded, the maintenance that we do need is it's crazy at times. I mean, we got a lot of parks, a lot of people, but overall our parks are really well managed in my opinion. So yeah, I think that as the city, and that's the biggest thing I think our commission has to offer at this time is a lot of support. We want to support a group like you guys. We want to support a group of be it pickleball people that come in here. And so if we can get more voices in our communities that come in and say, hey, these are our demands, these are what we want, our commission can do our best ability to support it. And I think the city council right now really wants that. That's kind of what they're looking for right now is they're looking for new ideas. They're looking for what is the future of the city of Wasilla? How can we be ahead of everyone else and actually draw in these new families and keep them around? And so with our voices, that's the only way we're going to be able to achieve that. And on the budget side, the city's very open to ideas. They seem to be very, yeah, they're not going to spend $1 million, but they have the resources. We have a lot of tools in our bag that we can kind of tap into. And so be it Eric with the engineering side, there's a lot of great options, and there's a lot of parts of the park that aren't developed yet that need someone to come in and say, hey, well, why don't we do this differently? And as we draw more traffic there, it just keeps expanding and keeps expanding and keeps expanding. So yeah, it's awesome stuff, and anything that we can do to support you guys, we definitely are all about that. Anyone else have any other comments? All right, hearing no other business to come before the commission, this meeting is adjourned at 6:37.